a multi-tiered architecture. We have, why you call it as multi-tiered? We have more than one source here, one data source. We're handling a multiple data sets here. Fine. So here, what are the things we have? We have 4 stages. We have first stage is data source, multiple source. What we have. Second one, how is that you are going to store it as a separate store, data warehouse, data storage here. What kind of data storage you come across? Third one is how is that OLAP engine, the processing, online analytical processing take place. The last stage, how is that error you are handling, how is that report you are generating, how is that queries you are handling, all that analysis that is done in the last stage for intent tools. Right? So coming to the first category, data source. We have several sources. I have discussed now so many things, enterprise, all that, data mart, all that, some operational databases. Because if from the operational database, whichever is necessary, I will extract that. I will not take the entire thing. Other sources, some heterogeneous sources you can take. Fine? Multiple data sources. So now in the next stage, I have data warehouse there, the center point here. So whatever I'll extract from operational database, that I am going to transform. All these things, these steps I have explained now. The process, different process, extraction or data extraction I have explained, data transformation I explained, how to load I explained, how to refresh I explained. All this together I am going to derive some data from operational database to data warehouse. I'll consolidate and put it in a separate store. Along with this, I was also talking about metadata. So I will summarize. I have some different, what are the different types of data? 3 things we studied: enterprise, then data mart, which is subset, and also the virtual. So virtual data warehouse, all together. So when I talk about virtual data warehouse, then metadata comes into picture. A summary of data I have here, a separate store. From there I will transform it. So with respect to metadata, I will monitor and integrate it, because I will not take the complete data. I'll integrate it. I'll summarize that. Right? Then from data warehouse, I have some huge set of data. Maybe when you take database at Sai Vidya, then I will separate into different data marts, ISC, CSC, so on, something like that. So different data marts I will come across. So with respect to this, again, this is whatever the data available, that I will process it in the next stage from different data marts. I will transfer data from data marts to external node, or from external node to data mart. Same way from data warehouse here. So I have a OLAP server for analytical process for the next stage. I'll access the data from my warehouse. Then I will do the processing, analysis. Fine. So I will serve, this is the application. I serve the data from the data warehouse. So all this together in the OLAP process, whatever the errors, whatever the query, whatever the data you are handling, all that I am going to put it in the form of report. So analysis, query, reports, data mining take place in the last stage. So how is that you are going to form a data cube? So let us understand. From tables, I have what is that, relational database, right? Relational from tables, I am going to, what is that I will do? And from spreadsheets, I am going to form a data cubes. So how you are transforming the tables and spreadsheets to data cubes, that we'll understand a small concept here. So let us see. A data warehouse is based on a multi-dimensional data model that we have already studied. So we come across multi-dimensional data model. Fine. So which views data in the form of data cube. Now I will convert this, whatever the data model I have now, that view, I am going to view that in the form of some data cube, that I will explain with an example in the next slide. So let us see what actually a data cube is. A data cube such as sales, I am concentrating on sales, you can take as an example. With respect to sales, allows data to be modeled. So whatever the data required, I will model that, and I will view it in a different dimensions, that is in multiple dimensions. For that, I'll come across 2 things here. One is dimension tables, the other one is fact table. In the first category, dimension tables, it includes the items such as the name of the item, what actually the brand. When you talk about the some product, say some cloth, so all that you will check now. What's the name of the product, then brand, type, all that. Or sometimes you will check the date now, manufacturing date, you will check day, week, month, quarter, year, whatever. So all this comes under dimension tables here. Coming to the second one, fact table, what actually it contains the measurements such as this dollar solid, all that. I'll explain this with an example, and keys to each of these related dimension tables. So you have some keys for each of this, right? I think in DBMS you have studied about the keys and all, no? So in data warehousing literature, how is it I am going to form a data cube, and ND base cube is called as a base cube. So basically I am trying to form a data cube which is called as base cuboid. So what is base cuboid? Let us see. The topmost I will give it as a 0 base, 0D cuboid. That means what? Number of D is 0 here, cuboid, fine, which holds the highest level of summarization. If you understand with the example, it is called as the apex cuboid. 0D cuboid is called as the apex cuboid. The lattice of cuboids forms a data cube. Lattice is nothing but a data cube, fine. That I will explain with an example in the next slide. See here, how many levels I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I start from 0, so how many levels I have? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 0D I'll call it as apex cuboid. 1D cuboid, there is no specific name for this. 2D again say similar to that, cuboids. 3D again cuboids. Last one, which is in the ground level, I will call it as base cuboid, which is called, here in this example, 4D is a base cuboid. So let us see what are the, initially why I will call it as 0D here, because I don't have the names of these items what I am going to define. So no names are specified in the first one. So it's a root, what you call 0D apex cuboid. So that's the reason it is named as 0. I don't know. I am not having any specific name here. Just I am mentioning all. Next, all can be categorized now. So first one is 0D here. The last one is base. 4D is called as base cuboid. Let us see one by one now. What is there in the first level now? 1D. See, I have only one name here. Say time is one of the cuboid. Item I have. Location I have. Supplier I have. So, and you can see only one from all I have derived only one time. Only one time here. Only one time here. And only one time. Coming to the next level. Can you see what are things I have trying to map here? Time, comma, item is here. Second one, time, comma, location. Check that. I am mapping. I am extracting from the time and also from the item. Two things. You can saw the mapping from two things. Same way in the second one. I am mapping from time and from location. Third one here, mapping from time and supplier. Fourth one here, mapping from item and location. Fifth one here, item and supplier. Sixth one, location and supplier. Anyway, each and every cuboid you are mapping two items, right? So I'll call it as 2D cuboids here. Same way, check for the next one here. I have 3 items. Time, item, location. Again, time, location, supplier. Next, time, location, supplier. Check that. I'm extracting from time and I'm extracting from time, location here. Time, location means indirectly here already you have time and location. 1, 2, 3 together. So that is how we are going to continue with. The last one you check here. I have 4D here because 4 items. See here, time, item, location, supplier. So time is from the first branch. Then location, item is from the second branch. Third one is about location. Fourth one is about supplier. That is called 4D base cuboid. This is how a lattice of cuboids are formed.